Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Charm coming to you live. This is my second live stream. So I am so excited, y'all. The verdict is in. Johnny Depp wins the trial, he wins the case, y'all. He has been vindicated. He has been vindicated, y'all. That's it. It's nothing else to say. This has been a crazy trial. It has been insane, absolutely insane. I have been just watching this trial from like pretty much from day, like probably like the second week. And I mean, it has been fascinating what has been going on with this freaking trial. Have y'all watched this trial? I mean, there's been a lot of allegations going on. So a lot of people are like, well, what exactly was this trial about? And so I want y'all to bear with me a little bit because this is my this is like my second live stream. So I'm still learning how to work everything. But hopefully y'all can see me. Please like, please share, comment, because I want to be able to talk to y'all. So please comment. Let's see, I'm going to put a comment here. But yeah, man, I had to go live today about this because as a doctor, I have really been looking at the mental health implications of this trial because there have been a lot of mental health allegations that took place during this trial. Seriously, for real, for real. So I want to share my screen with y'all. Let's see here. Let's see. I want to share my screen with you guys. All right. So hopefully you all can see me. Okay. Yes. I'll put that to the side there. Yes. So it's been really crazy with this whole freaking entire trial because first of all, why was Johnny Depp suing Amber Heard? So Johnny Depp and Amber Heard they started dating, think about around like 2010, well, like 12, because they were in a movie together. So they were in a movie together, and Amber Heard played Johnny Depp's love interest. And at that time, she was like 20 something years old and he was 40 something. So he was already over 20 years older than her. And he had been in a relationship with his baby mama because they never did get married. And Vanessa Paradis, she's French, and she had two children for him. And they had been together for 13 years. They had started having a little problems, whatever. And basically, he started doing this movie with Amber Heard. Amber Heard is this young 20-something-year-old ingenue. She really hadn't been in much stuff. And this was kind of more like a little breakout role for her. I think it was her first lead role. And they were attracted to one another. He said during the trial that they had the scene in the shower where they were supposed to kiss each other. So when they kissed each other, he used tongue in the kiss. Now a lot of people don't know. I'm an actress also, and also a doctor, but I'm also an actress. And when you're acting in movies and everything, and those sex scenes and all this stuff, that's not real. The kissing scenes, people aren't supposed to really use tongue, but Johnny Depp and Amber said, hey, they had a full-on kiss, and when they kissed, he said he felt something that he really wasn't supposed to feel. She felt things that she wasn't supposed to feel. And next thing you know, it was kind of an instant attraction. So there was a little bit of overlap going on there because he was still breaking up with baby mama. He kind of implicated it in the trial. He implied that he, cheated on baby mama. He said he put a stop to it because the crew was there. They were in the trailer. But who knows, y'all? Do you think that Johnny is being truthful about the fact that he stopped it before it went too far? I don't know, y'all. I really don't know. But there was some overlap. Some women are bitter. They might be like, hey, you never married the baby mama. Baby mama had children for you for 13 years. She held you down. You get with this young girl, and then all of a sudden she started acting crazy. Baby, she really did start acting a fool. They dated very tumultuously, but it was implied that she kind of rushed him into getting married. So he married her. On the honeymoon, she scratched up his face. Okay, she scratched up his face. There's pictures of him at the pictures of him during the honeymoon where his face is just completely scratched up. So, would you stay married to somebody that whooped your ass during the honeymoon? That's kind of like a red flag. But they were having problems since the honeymoon, and then Johnny can't say that nobody warned him, because somebody warned him, because his own daughter Lily did not come to the wedding. There were other people who testified during the trial that they hated her, they didn't care for her, but they came to the wedding to support him. So that people told him how they felt about Amber Heard. But he was attracted to her. Honey, Amber, I don't know, y'all. And then, I'm an astrologer. So from the astrology standpoint, she's got a sun in Taurus, which is a Venus sign. It's ruled by the planet Venus. And then she's got a moon in Libra, which is also ruled by Venus. So if any of you guys are into astrology, this woman is a double Venus. And Venus is the planet of love and attraction and beauty and Aphrodite and all those things that are, that really make a woman attractive. So she had to have, she's a pretty woman. She looked even better when she was younger, but she's also got some magnetism going on there from this whole psychological perspective. I mean, it's alleged that she had an affair with James Franco. This is something that Johnny alleges during the trial. She had a relationship with Elon Musk. There's rumors that the baby that she has used Elon Musk's sperm, because they were fighting over the eggs and the sperm and the embryo, because she had embryos and they were fighting over that in court. And apparently the outcome was sealed, but she has a daughter now. So, honey, is that Elon's baby? Okay. So Amber has got some magnetism going on. She is she was an attractive woman, and she is an attractive woman. Now, looking at her now and in court and everything, everybody's disgusted by her. But I saw some, footage of her when she was much younger, and she was sweet. She's from Texas, and she had a nice Texas accent and, blonde hair, little cowgirl. So she's an attractive girl. So anyways, they had this tumultuous relationship. I mean, and basically the basis of the trial is that during, in 2016, it's either 16 or 17, Amber Heard, this is at the height of the Me Too movement. Everybody knows about Me Too, okay? This is the R. Kelly stuff's going on, Harvey Weinstein, all this stuff has blew up. And at the height of the Me Too movement, Amber Heard got cast in Aquaman. She was in Aquaman. She played Mira, I believe it's Mira, the little mermaid lady, the daughter of the king. And she basically says in the op-ed that she was a victim of domestic and sexual violence in her last relationship. Well, Amber was just married to Johnny Depp. So without naming him, she puts an article out talking about how she was abused and how women are abused. And when this article comes out, of course, everybody knows that this article is about Johnny Depp. Now, Johnny Depp, who has had no history of domestic violence with any of his previous partners, no lawsuits, no criminal acts, no arrests, no jail time or anything. But because Amber Heard talked about this is the height of the Me Too movement, Johnny Depp starts to lose his roles. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean. He made millions and billions of dollars for Disney with this Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, guess what? They dropped him from Pirates of the Caribbean 6. I think Margot Robbie, who played Harley Quinn, is going to be in Pirates of the Caribbean 6. He got dropped from Fantastic Beasts, which is a J.K. Rowling project. J.K. Rowling is the author of Harry Potter. So he starts to get dropped from all these movies left and right. And Johnny had to put out a movie direct to DVD. Now, how you go from being $100 million star to your movie is going direct to DVD? So Johnny Depp lost. They said during the case, allegedly over $40 million just in actual roles. Then, of course, because he has this reputation now of a woman beater, nobody wants to work with him. I mean, basically, his star fell. So he took the Sun to court. The Sun is a tabloid in London, in England. He took them to court and he lost in the UK. defamation, because he basically accused her of lying during this article. She defamed him in the article, and the defamation is when you say something about someone that's not true. Now, if it's true, that's just called facts. So he lost that case in the UK. They said he beat her. But baby, today, Johnny Depp was vindicated and he won his trial today, y'all. Shout out to Johnny Depp for winning. Winning. He won. Yes, he won. So the thing is that I really kind of want to talk about the mental health implications, because I love my gossip and I love to kiki just like everybody else. But as a doctor, I look at this case in a completely different way. Okay, because there were a lot of allegations of domestic violence. And what I thought was really crazy about this trial is that not only did Johnny really prove that, or that he really showed that he wasn't the one that was beating on her and hitting her and assaulting her, it was really the other way around. She was the perpetrator of domestic violence against Johnny. And y'all, that is something else. Johnny was the one getting beat up. Johnny was the one that was getting beat up. And the thing is that as a man, this is this is a patriarchal society. This is a man run and a man-led society. Okay, that's why the Me Too movement was so big, because women were trying to get rights, and you got the feminism movement. And so for a man to be a victim of domestic violence is something that is really, it can be shameful. There are a lot of men who don't talk about it because they feel ashamed, because it's like, oh, your manhood. You're not supposed to be letting a woman beat on you and whoop on you and stuff like that. But there are a lot of women who are violent. There are a lot of women who are violent. And it's something that's not talked about. I don't have the stats on it, but baby, this case right here really brought female on male domestic violence. It really brought it to the forefront and to the spotlight. It really, really did. And even as the trial went on, one of the major domestic violence groups released a statement in support of Johnny Depp. Y'all, I mean, did you ever think you would see the day when a domestic violence group would endorse a man over a woman? But really, it's the preponderance of the evidence. Johnny Depp really proved that he was the victim of domestic violence. This man had picture upon picture of bruises and things on his face, scratched up face. Let me show y'all some of these pictures, honey. Bruises on his face, scratches on his face, during the honeymoon, all kind of stuff, just all kind of stuff. And so he's, here is one picture of him. He had a bruised face. Let me show y'all this one. Just a mess. It's just a mess, y'all. Just a mess. And he had a black eye. She scratched him up on the honeymoon. I want to show y'all this one. Here is one right here. I'm going to switch screens here. Let's see. Let's see. No, I want to take that one off. Y'all gotta work with me. Let's see. All right. So here's a photo of Johnny Depp with the black eye. Let me show y'all that. Can y'all see that? Okay, so he's got the black eye here. That's just one of them. I'm going to show y'all that on the full screen. Yep. Okay, see that there? Black eye. All right. Then let me see if I can find another one here with him scratched up. She scratched up his face during the honeymoon. And this is the woman that's alleging that he beat her up. She had no photos, really, of her having any kind of injuries. I'm looking for the other one here. There's one from the honeymoon. And then what was crazy is that she admitted that he got her on tape admitting that she was hitting on him. Let's see the honeymoon photo. Yeah, here we go. Now here's the honeymoon photo where his face is scratched up. Let me show y'all that one.
I've travelled all over. Telephones, they can save by bundling home and car insurance.
I don't want to do that. I want to show y'all the picture. Thank y'all for bearing with me because I'm new to the live streaming. Let's see if they got the pixels going on here. Okay. And any photos or video I use is for fair use. This is for commentary. The fair use applies here. And that's allowed under the Copyright Act of 1976. I'm trying to find y'all this photo. I don't know why the photos don't want to come out. All right, let's see here. Well, I thought that one was going to come out, but I want to show y'all this photo. Where is the honeymoon photo? I think what I'm going to do is just show y'all this one. Okay, I think we got one here. Hopefully the pixels are not too bad on this one. All right, let's see if we can use this one. Okay, y'all. So this is a picture of Johnny Depp. And if you look in there, you zoom in real good, you'll see that it shows that he has a black eye. They got the bullseye right there. And let's see. Yeah, this is pictures of not. Are you supposed to look like this on your honeymoon? That's what I want to know. Are you supposed to look like this on your honeymoon? Are you supposed to get your face scratched up? But he still proceeded to be married to her for another 14 months. They got a divorce, or he told her he was done with her after 15 months. Okay, so but on your first month, y'all fussing and fighting and scratching and she beating your ass on the honeymoon. Johnny, I think you should have gotten an annulment. That's what I think you should have did. An annulment. An annulment was in order at this point. Okay. An annulment. Thank you. So here's the thing. So what are the mental health aspects? Why am I talking about mental health? This is just domestic violence. This is a domestic violence case. It's more than a domestic violence case, you guys, because Amber Heard brought mental health experts on to diagnose Johnny Depp with narcissistic personality disorder. And then Johnny Depp brought experts on there and diagnosed her, Amber Heard, with borderline personality disorder, okay? And histrionic personality disorder. So what are personality disorders? Honey, a personality disorder is basically a mental health diagnosis, okay, where people have a long-lasting disruptive patterns of thinking, behaving, and mood and relating to others. And it impairs their ability to function. So what does all that mean? It sounds very, medical. Okay, it sounds very medical. But basically, a person who is not dealing with the mental health issue, they may have relationships that are considered healthy and balanced with the opposite sex, the same sex, their family members. But somebody with a personality disorder, things are not lining up and shaping up like they're supposed to. And depending on what kind of personality disorder the person has, it's going to shape how they are behaving. And so I really want to go into what they allege that Johnny Depp was diagnosed with, and then what they actually did diagnose Amber Heard with. And I think this is one of the reasons why Johnny ended up winning that trial, because Johnny brought a Dr. Curry on, and baby, Dr. Curry used all the diagnostic tools and mental health. And I'll tell you what, I am not a psychiatrist. I am a naturopathic medical doctor, but I have an extensive background in mental health. A counseling background, in addition to naturopathic medical background. I'm not your doctor. I'm not here to give you medical advice, but I want to discuss medicine and health as it relates to this case. And I think this will be a learning tool for us all, because this affects us all. Somebody that has a personality disorder. Now, whether they've been diagnosed with it or not, whether you know that they have a diagnosis, but you ever been around someone say, okay, this isn't right. Their reaction is not normal to this. You may be dealing with someone with a personality disorder. And so the thing is that what is narcissistic personality disorder? Because this is what they accused Johnny Depp of having. So I want to talk about narcissistic personality disorder. Give me a moment. So I'm going to put this up here. I want to share the screen talking about narcissistic personality disorder. So I thank y'all for bearing with me on this. I'm going to put this up for a moment. I want to show y'all just the, I want to show y'all the breakdown here of narcissistic personality disorder. So here's a little blurb here. And notice, so they're talking about this. So this person would have an exaggerated sense of self-importance. They think they're more important than everybody else in the world. They are envious of others, and they believe other people are envious of them. Oh, look at me, honey. Oh, everybody's jealous of me. Oh, I went to my boss is complaining about that I'm not working because he's just jealous of me. When maybe you might have taken 15 vacations in 15 days and in between work, and it's exaggerated. It's an exaggerated sense. Oh, everybody's jealous of me. This is why I can do nothing wrong. They have a sense of entitlement, requiring constant excessive admiration. You got to compliment them all the time. All that. And I'm not talking about, oh, you baby, do you think my dress is cute? Is this suit cute? No, it's like, oh my God, you haven't complimented me this hour. You don't notice this? And this is constant. And we're not talking about things here and there when it's little things. We're talking about where it's excessive to the point where it's becoming an issue. They're expected to be recognized as superior without any achievements to warrant it. Basically, let me not talk about the Kardashians, but it may be, hey, well, look at me. I'm this and that, but I don't have any talent. I'm the best actress in the world, but I never took a class. I never acted in a play. Oh, I'm so great at this. I'm a great mechanic. Oh, I can fix anything, but never went to mechanic school. Never took a class. Okay, never cheated around and or anybody trained them. Because everybody didn't go to mechanic school that's good at fixing cars. But basically, this person might not be able to fix cars worth of shit. But oh my God, I'm the best mechanic ever. I'm this, I'm that. So. And also what's really important is they have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. So they don't have any empathy. They don't have any empathy for the next person. So it's all about them. And it's very interesting because a lot of celebrities have some of the traits of narcissism just as a career. I mean, you're in a career where the spotlight is always on you. You're in a career where everybody talks about you. You want to be seen. You want to be heard. So to an extent, actors and these singers and anybody who's in the spotlight in the public eye, they do have some aspects of narcissism. However, to rise to the level of a personality disorder where it's actually a disorder, where this is affecting your relationships, where you're not able to function, where it's affecting everything. This is what they allege. Amber Heard's experts allege that Johnny Depp had narcissistic personality traits, which means that what that meant is that he didn't have the disorder per se, but he has so many traits that it's leaning towards a disorder. But the problem was that the expert that they brought on for Amber Heard, this woman had never sat down with Johnny Depp. She had never talked to him. She had never interviewed him. She did not use the proper diagnostic test. So they destroyed, honey. They destroyed that the psychologist that came on Amber's side. And I would have to say, in my medical opinion, I didn't think that Johnny Depp had narcissistic personality disorder because of one of the biggest things on here where it says the inability to empathize with other people. Because they interview so many people, and I don't think that these people just did that because they were beholden to Johnny, that they owed Johnny money or Johnny was nice to them. It was too many people that got up on that stand, too many witnesses, and said how Johnny was one of the kindest and most empathetic people that they had ever met. He had Amber's friends living all in his penthouses, and his ex, the baby mama, the ex, Kate Moss, hadn't dated Johnny in damn near 20 years. And she got up on the stand. Her testimony was only 3 minutes, but she got up on the stand and she testified on his behalf. And so for this many people to say that you're a kind person, people that you haven't even interacted with in 10, 15, 20 years, Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz, all these different people. Penelope Cruz was in, I think she was in Pirates of the Caribbean with him while she was pregnant. She was in a movie with him when she was pregnant, and she said that he was the most kindest and he really looked out for her during the time that she was filming that movie with him. He didn't have to do that. They have assistants, they have production assistants, they have all kinds of people that are there to do that. So based on the fact of all the testimony with people saying how Johnny Depp was so empathetic and so kind to people, and he would give you the shirt off his back. I mean, he actually had one of his friends that started out, because Johnny Depp started out as a musician first. He played guitar and he started out as a musician first. And then he went into acting and he got on 21 Jump Street. I remember watching 21 Jump Street. I'm dating myself, y'all. I'm a little up there. But honey, I still popping, honey. Everything is still juicy. But Johnny been around for a while. So the fact that he's still friends with the guy had the guy living with him that started out with him when he was an unknown musician. Johnny Depp does not fit, in my opinion, the definition of someone with narcissistic personality disorder, just based on his deep capacity for empathy. That, to me, is what cancels that out. It cancels it out. But honey, let's talk about Amber Heard, honey, because honey, Amber Heard, y'all, Amber Heard is certified. Yes, honey. You know, in the old day, they said, you certified, you got a diagnosis. Well, baby, it wasn't alleged. This psychiatrist, Dr. Curry, baby, she got on that stand and she told it. Dr. Curry talked about Amber Heard's diagnoses. So let me see if I can find a clip about that, because I want to show that. And then I want to break it down, because she talked real psychiatry speech. But baby, when Dr. Curry went on there, she took me to school. I felt like I was in one of my continuing education classes, because as doctors, y'all, we have to get so many hours a year of continuing education. I feel like I wanted to submit that to the medical board for my continuing education, because I said I was taking notes, honey. I was taking notes because she really went there. She really went there, and it was great. So I want to show a little bit of this about her talking about that she has these two personality disorders. So let's share this. I want to share that. And again, this is for fair use. It's for commentary and discussion. Y'all bear with me.
Did there come a time when you met directly with Ms. Heard?
Yes, I did. So in conducting my evaluation, I met with Ms. Heard on 2 separate dates.
Okay, so let's look at this real quick. Let me share the screen. All righty.
False.
Oops,
We
that's not who I want to talk to. Let's see. I'm on the wrong one. Where we go? Where did we go? I thank y'all for bearing with me, honey, because this is I'm just getting started doing these live streams and stuff. All right.
December 10th and December 17th, 2021.
This is Dr. Curry, y'all.
Ms. Heard.
So the evaluation, we spent 12 hours directly with one another. However, there were more hours involved in the evaluation with some breaks. So we spent 7 hours together on the first day, December 10th. Not necessarily together because there was a 1 hour lunch break and about a half hour with breaks split up through the day. And then on the 17th, we spent a little more than 8.
So she's talking about how she spent time with her to diagnose her.
As a result of the work that you performed, did you form any opinions with respect to Ms. Heard?
I did.
What were those opinions?
The results of Ms. Heard's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder.
What is a diagnosis?
A diagnosis is a way that we essentially, it tells other professionals a lot.
Previously, you made reference to, I think you called it the DSM-5. What's
Yes. It's the authoritative manual. To understand a personality disorder, I think it can be helpful first to kind of define personality. So personality, something we take for granted, but these are the traits, the characteristics, the way we think, we feel, and we act.
Right. So she's talking about our personality. Everybody has a personality. Our personality is basically formed by the time we're 6 years old. And your expression of that, by the time you're 5 or 6, you have the personality that you're most likely going to have for the rest of your life.
Make us who we are. And these traits are pretty stable over time and across situations. We might, be sure to mind our P's and Q's. Sometimes an easy way to think of it is imagining how you might describe a brother or sister, or a child comes and it goes, and when it's treated with medication, it can crippleness. When you think about something like depression, that's episodic. It comes and it goes, and when it's treated with medication, it can pretty much be completely mitigated or minimized in a person's life, and their personality is still there, separate from the depression. When we have a personality disorder, there are going to be disturbances in several different areas that are visible in almost all different facets of their life.
Is there a manner in which personality disorders are commonly diagnosed?
So basically, she's just talking about the fact that she's talking about a personality disorder. But basically, this is a psychiatrist. This is Dr. Curry, who spent 8 hours with Amber Heard. She gave her all the diagnostic tests, and based on the diagnosis, she gave the standard, which is the CAPS test. She gave the standard, and using those tests, she diagnosed Amber Heard using the DSM-5. So the DSM-5, what is the DSM-5? What is that, R2D2? The DSM-5 is called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. And it's number 5 because they had 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're on number 5. And basically what this is the Bible of the American Psychiatric Association. For anybody that's in mental health, a counselor, social worker, any kind of person that counsels people or diagnoses people, and you want to know, okay, does this person have a mental illness? They're going to open up this book, this Bible, the DSM-5, and based on the traits, it's like a recipe book, like you cooking food, right? And you want to learn how to make a cake, right? Okay, the cake says you got to put flour, butter, sugar. You got to add it up. You got to mix it up. Okay, bake at 350, bake for 400 degrees, bake for 15 minutes. Check with a fork or check with a toothpick. Okay, that's how you make a cake. All right, well, to diagnose a personality disorder, they've got to have X, Y, and Z. They've got to have this for this amount of time. For instance, for somebody to be diagnosed with depression or anxiety or post-traumatic stress or any of these kind of things, they had to have had symptoms for 6 months. If they didn't do it for 6 months, then that isn't considered that isn't considered an actual diagnosis. So give me a second here. All right. So that's not considered an actual diagnosis. That's considered, it could be considered what we call an adjustment disorder. For depression, PTSD, some of these other diagnoses, you've got to have had it for 6 months. So that's an example of something that they have these rules and regimens to it. So a person who wants to diagnose someone with a mental illness, with a mood disorder, personality disorder, they've got to look at that recipe book, the DSM-5. So she sat with her for 8 hours. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine sitting with my doctor for 8 hours. Oh my God. You know, I had to wait in the doctor's office for 4 hours once, and I was about certified. I was ready to be diagnosed with a damn personality disorder. My God. So she sat with her and she diagnosed her with borderline and histrionic personality disorders. So I want to talk about, what are these disorders? What is histrionic personality disorder? What is borderline? Let's talk about borderline personality disorder first. So I'm gonna put something up here from the screen, and let's talk about this. These people that have borderline personality disorder, honey, it is, it took a while for me to get it. I'm serious. That was one of the ones when I went to school and I really studied. I had a hard time trying to understand borderline personality disorder. To be honest with you, I had to really talk to some of my friends who are psychotherapists, because I have a few friends who are psychotherapists, and I had to really ask them, to really get this information. And now that I also teach, it was so interesting that I had just taught my students about mental health. We had just gone over the mental health section in the course that I teach at the university, and we had just talked about borderline personality disorder. And I go and look, and there was the next day, the very, 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 very next day, I go and look, and I'm looking at the trial, and there is Dr. Curry talking about borderline personality disorder the next day, y'all. Okay, look at God, honey. I am a person that believes in the universe. I really do. Because I really wanted to get a good understanding. And baby, after I got through watching her, I even had a better understanding of it. A better understanding. So let me show you guys this little mock-up here on borderline, because I want to go over that. All righty. All right, so let me share the screen. Let's do it. I am really having fun, you guys. I am having a great time. All right. Learning how to work this live stream. I hope the stream ain't. I hope we're not having a struggle stream where it's going in and out. If not, I'm gonna have to get the internet, man. Here, I'm ready to, I'm ready to go psycho on AT&T. Lord have mercy. They really be getting on my nerves. I don't know why I switched from Comcast. All right, so let's look at here. So we've got it up. Okay, bingo. All right. So this is like a comparison of borderline personality disorder versus bipolar disorder. But the bipolar disorder, which is also known as manic depressive, the character, that's considered a mood disorder. This is where people swing from mood to mood. Okay. And they may be manic where they want to have sex all the time. They can't sleep. They have insomnia. They may just go and spend up like, here, I got $5,000 in my bank account. And I just drain my bank account in a matter of a day or two. Just very impulsive, compulsive, in what we call manic episodes. And they could be like that for days, weeks, and maybe, even a month. And then they crash, and then they have a depressive episode where they cannot get out of bed. They can't groom themselves. They can't dress. They are crying all day, feeling suicidal, thoughts of self-harm. So that's bipolar. And bipolar, there's a genetic component to that. This can run in the family. It usually will start to manifest by the age of 25. So that's bipolar. But a borderline personality disorder has many of the similarities to bipolar, but the difference is instead of the person being manic for 2-3 days, and they swing to depressive episode for 2 or 3 weeks, a borderline person will switch moods from hour to hour. It could be within a matter of hours. They cannot regulate their mood. They cannot keep their mood even. You and I, we might be driving and somebody cuts us off and we're upset and hey, we might be upset for a few minutes and then we're over it. Okay, I'm calming down. Let me turn on my music, whatever. A borderline person, they may have the same incident happen to them, and next thing you know, they're screaming and enraged and they're violent, and it could last for an hour. And then an hour later, they're depressed and they're crying. And so they can't regulate their mood. This is where it really starts to show, and it's severe. This isn't something like I'm upset for a few minutes or I'm upset for an hour, and then I'm over it. I go and get an ice cream cone or something. This person is from hour to hour. It could be swinging. It could be just complete mood swings, and they can be very impulsive. And what happens is it's associated with early trauma. Something happened in their childhood. And Amber Heard, I think she talked about some of the things in her childhood. I cannot remember exactly what was going on in her childhood, but she definitely had some trauma. And so the doctor diagnosed Amber with borderline personality disorder, and she said that one of the things that confirmed that for her was that Amber said that none of the medications that they had given her, because I think that they had misdiagnosed her, if I'm not mistaken, with bipolar, said that none of the medications were working. The only thing that worked for her was stimulant medication, like the ADD medication. And Dr. Curry said that one of the medications that really works well for people with borderline personality disorder is the stimulant medication. It's one of the few that works. And she said that when she saw that and confirmed that this is one of the things that confirmed her diagnosis, because Amber said that was one of the few things that worked. So it's really interesting. Sometimes these things are just click. I mean, I've had situations with patients where, we learn stuff in medical school, we learn things, but it may not look like that when you go into the office. And I've had cases where people have walked in and I'm like, well, this is not like a textbook case. I don't know. Oh my God. I don't know what's happening. I might not get this diagnosis right. I'm stumped. You're a doctor. You can't be like, oh, I'm stumped. Somebody's coming to you for help. And I had a case like that where somebody came in and I'm like, man, I'm stumped. But then when I looked and it was one thing that stood out, and it turned out that was exactly what the diagnosis was, because of the one thing. And and for a doctor, we know if the diagnosis is correct. Sometimes when we give a medication and that medication works, that will confirm the diagnosis. Because sometimes doctors, honey, sometimes we're shooting in the dark too sometimes. And we go to school, we learn, we do all this clinical rotations and residencies, and I've seen over 50,000 patients in my career. But there are sometimes those cases where people come in and you might not know what the hell is going on. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. And we have to go in our books too. Just like we talked about the DSM-5 being the Bible. Sometimes, honey, a doctor will have to go in there and I'll have to pull out one of these reference books right here and go in here and look. Okay, I got reference books. Y'all see all these books in the back, honey. These books have been read. Most of them been read, child. They not to look cute. We've been reading these books. And sometimes I'll have to go in these books and look. And sometimes it will be one thing that will stand out, will get that diagnosis. And so she said that, Amber everything is checking off on these boxes, and it confirmed it when she said, hey, the stimulant is the only thing that helps me. So one of the things that with this borderline, because she can't regulate her mood, she was beating on Johnny. There'd be times where Johnny would try to walk away and leave, and she would be following him. She'd be following him the whole time. And she would not let him walk away. There were people who worked in his household who said, hey, he tried to leave, and she would get even more upset that he was trying to walk away from her. They got her on tape begging him, I can't do anything when you leave like that. So that was just devastating to her. So it had to have been something from her childhood or something, some kind of early trauma was triggering abandonment issues, because the fact that he was trying to remove himself to de-escalate the situation, and him walking away like that just triggered her, and it would make her even worse. It'd be hours where he's trying to leave her. Just to get away from the argument. So, you all have no idea about how early trauma affects people for the rest of their lives. But people are like, oh, you're an adult now, get over it. There's a lot of people who are stuck in patterns because of something that happened in their early childhood, and it's affecting people to this day. And it affects their romantic relationships. It affects their relationships at work, triggering them. You could be in a relationship, especially people who have father issues, women who've had father issues. I have had father issues in the past, and thank goodness for therapy. I am a fan of therapy, okay? Because sometimes just a partner breaking up with a woman with father issues can trigger her, like, oh my God, he's abandoning me, he's leaving me. And honey, some of these people, you need to be glad they left, okay? They don't need to be there. They need to be gone. But they need to be gone, child. For real. But because a woman may have father issues, that may, oh my God, he's abandoning me like my father did. Not realizing that y'all need to be separated. So this is why it's really important to unpack these mental health issues, y'all. It's good to unpack them because it's important. And so, so she got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. About borderline. So I want to talk about histrionic personality disorder. So we're going to talk about histrionic personality disorder. Y'all bear with us. Y'all bear with us, sister, now. Okay. I appreciate y'all for this, because I'm still learning how to do all this live streaming. Now, I can make a video, but honey, the live streaming, we're getting used to it. Working all of this, I'm pretty techie. I think I'm pretty techie, but I think it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. It's still a learning curve. So here we go. Now, she done diagnosed the child with the histrionics now. Oh Lord. Let's talk about that. All right, so I want to remove that one. Which one do I want to look at? All right. I'm getting the hang of this. I'm getting the hang of it. Do I have any comments? Who said that? Okay, let me see. I think I have a comment here. I want to read that. Let me get that, and then I'm going to read this comment because somebody commented a few minutes ago. Let's see. All right, I got histrionic personality disorder up here. But let me read this comment first. Somebody, TI Calculator says, Doctor, in your professional opinion, is Amber a mythomaniac? I don't know anything about mythomaniac. That's a term I'm not familiar with, because I am not a psychotherapist. So let me see. I want to look this up here. Okay, it's tendency to exaggerate, tell lies, including support of self-deception, pathological liar. Okay, so I'm not a psychotherapist. That's why I didn't even know what a mythomaniac was. But somebody is pathologically lying. I think that it's going to be related to this histrionic personality disorder. So let's look at this TI Calculator. Let's look at this histrionic personality disorder. And if she did have a mythomaniac disorder, honey, Dr. Curry, Dr. Curry would have diagnosed it, because Dr. Curry was on it. Baby, Dr. Curry was on it. I love me some Dr. Curry, honey. Dr. Curry, like I said, I need to go ahead and submit that hour that I watched her on the trial for a continuing education, because she was going to town. Okay. So let's talk about borderline. I want to show, histrionic. Let's talk about histrionic personality disorder. So somebody with histrionic personality disorder, they need the constant approval. And it's not like, oh, do I look cute today? It's like, oh, well, I was thinking about going to London. Should I go to London? I got to ask like 10 people. You know what? Should I buy a green dress today? Oh my goodness. Should I buy one that's blue? I think I want to eat a hot dog this morning. Should I have a hot dog? Should I have cereal? Or what should I eat? So constant approval seeking. They need to be the center of attention at all times. You and I are walking down the street. Hey, we're walking down the street. And we're just walking to the train. Okay, I live in Chicago. I can take the train sometimes. Well, this person, I've got to do a runway walk. I've got to twirl and laugh loud and so that everybody sees me on the way to the train. Okay, they got to be the constant center of attention. Overly self-centered, thinking about themselves and talking about themselves all the time. They're not thinking about you, honey. It's all about me. Okay, concerned about appearance, overly concerned about appearance. Honey, they're not going and putting on some sweatpants and some stuff like that just to go down to the store. Oh, no. It's Chanel boots. It's Chanel bag. It's the LV. It's the Louis Vuitton. Okay. It's the Givenchy. Okay. They cannot go just dressed. They got to be the center of attention. They use their appearance to gain attention. You know, hair done, nails done, everything did. So everything's got to be done. Inappropriate behavior. Something that you and I might not do. Okay. Seductive manner of dress. Shallow and untrue to others. They have no problems lying. Oh my God, you're the most handsomest man I ever seen. Oh my gosh. Oh, Elon, she was doing it with Elon. Oh, Elon, you're the richest man I've ever known. Well, that's actually probably true. Oh, Elon, you're the most handsomest man. Oh my God, Elon. Y'all know, because Elon was over there funding. Elon been funding them legal fees, child. Elon been funding that trial, y'all. He been funding them lawyers fees. She said she spent $6 million on that trial, y'all. She ain't got $6 million, y'all. Elon spent that $6 million on that trial. So that's histrionic personality disorder, and the doctor diagnosed her with it. And like I said, it's so weird because when you're a celebrity, a lot of this stuff, these people can have these traits because, in some people's opinion, people who have a need for approval, they need attention, they will gravitate to those kind of careers because that allows you to be a star. And, some people even say like our obsession with celebrity culture worships narcissism. It's a form of narcissism. So are we, as people who follow celebrities, or who watch celebrities, are we helping to facilitate? Are we enabling narcissistic personality disorder? Are we enabling histrionic personality disorders? Y'all, it's something to think about. What do you think about that? Because back in the day, back in the day, people didn't celebrity watch like this. It's like a real sport, because back in the day, honey, they would have all kind of sordid little lives. If you look at some of the people in the 20s and stuff, and lived in the 20s and 30s, and those celebrities, baby, they had other lives, honey. But and the press really didn't know about it. The studios knew about it. Who was gay, who was this, who had people in the basement. Rock Hudson lived for decades as a gay man, and none of his fans knew. That would never happen in this day and age, because everybody is constantly watching celebrities. So are we in a celebrity-obsessed culture? Does it perpetuate mental illness? That is an interesting question. But I have to say that all that aside, this trial really, really, to me, brought some of these personality disorders and this mental illness and also domestic violence against men to the forefront. So Amber got diagnosed with 2 mental illnesses, y'all. And it was obvious throughout this trial that this woman was lying. She was lying so much. Oh my gosh, she was lying so much. They caught her in so many lies. She said when they went to this trailer park or something, I think it was in Texas, called Hicksville. And it was, she had lied and said during the trial that they had a big fight and that Johnny tore up the trailer and he tore everything up. Well, baby, they brought the manager of Hicksville. I think he was tweeting or something. And honey, they got him involved in the trial. He got involved like the last week. And he was like, no, if anybody that was starting some stuff, it was Amber. She was the one that was acting all jealous. And the trailer wasn't destroyed. There was one thing broken on the trailer, and that was a light fixture. So there was just too many people that caught her in lies. They brought in so many witnesses to refute her allegations. And Amber also has a history of domestic violence. 13 years ago, she beat up or was fighting on her girlfriend, because Amber is bisexual. She's married to a woman before Johnny, and she beat up her girlfriend at the airport. And they brought out the airport worker who came out and said, hey, I saw Amber Heard in baggage claim. She was beating this woman's ass. She was whooping her ass. And then she smelled, her breath smelled completely like liquor. So, she has a documented history of domestic violence. Johnny Depp does not have a documented history of domestic violence. And as a matter of fact, this was another part of the trial that they were alleging that Amber Heard basically, she got a temporary restraining order, but that it was a staged crime scene, y'all. It was a staged crime scene. Because the first time she came, she called the police and said that she had been beaten up and Johnny did this and that to her. And they said the police looked at the house. They looked at Amber. She didn't have a scratch on her. They told her, we have no grounds to arrest anybody. And then they alleged that she consulted her lawyer and her therapist and everybody else. So they, told her how to stage that crime scene with her little friend. And then next thing you know, that she got a restraining order. So she gets a restraining order. Baby, she called TMZ. She sold photos to TMZ allegedly to let them know. She sold a video of Johnny Depp. Actually, it wasn't a photo. She sold a video of Johnny Depp slamming cabinets and just going cuckoo while he was, inebriated, intoxicated, because he has had a lot of issues with drugs. And that's another mental health conversation too. And basically had sold this video to TMZ. And the reason that they brought a producer out from TMZ who used to work for TMZ, and he said that they got that video and they were able to put that video up in 15 minutes. And the only way that you can do that is if a person, the actual person who owns the copyright, basically who shot the video, was the one that sent it in. So if it was some third party, they have to spend hours and hours verifying this video, making sure that it doesn't have a copyright on it, because they could get sued for millions of dollars. TMZ has got millions of dollars. Somebody could sue them and say, hey, you used my photo and my video and whatever without permission. So the fact that he got the email and this thing was put up in 15 minutes really is pointing to the fact that Amber was the one that sent that video to TMZ. And then on top of that, he said, this is the producer who used to work for TMZ, said, she called them. They were called and they said they were told them to come to the courthouse and that she was going to have a bruise on the right side of her cheek and to come to the courthouse at this date and time and this entrance. So her people, either she was calling them allegedly, or her people, her publicists and all these was calling TMZ to let them know when to show up. And surprisingly, y'all, especially the Kardashians are known for this. These people, their publicists, their lawyers, they have relationships with TMZ. They will call and tell them to be at a time and a place. They need more press. They got something coming out. They call TMZ and say, hey, be here. We're going to be here to get this photo out. So the TMZ guy came on there and said she did this. So Amber is over here allegedly doctoring crime scenes. She's over here pooping in the bed. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, that was why she got the Amber Turd hashtag. So that was Johnny Depp alleged. He gets in the bed, he goes in his bedroom, he pulls the covers back, he looks there, and there is shit in the bed. And she said, well, the dogs did it. And he said, I have teacup Yorkies. Honey, I don't have dogs, but I know a little bitty Maltese or a little bitty teacup and this kind of stuff. They're not going to have a human poop. Okay. And then allegedly she told somebody it was just a prank gone wrong. I mean, what kind of person? And then you want them to stay with you? No. So that's some of that anger coming out from one of them personality disorders, child. That woman wasn't, but she's a pretty girl. So that's how she was able to get away with it. And she landed on her feet, honey. She got some of that Elon Musk money. So this, but that's a lot of implications, because for the regular people who don't have Elon Musk $6 million and Elon funding the lifestyle and Johnny Depp, he has a whole island over there in the Bahamas. For regular people that are struggling with mental health, you're having to, and their families, your family member, that, that so-called crazy uncle or something like that, these people that really need help. There's a lot of mental health resources that are just not there for people. They have, Johnny Depp he was able to have the psychotherapist come to his home. I mean, how many people can afford to bring the psychologist to your home to talk to you and meet with you for 8 hours? I mean, how many people have the money to meet with a therapist for 8 hours? I mean, these people are billing at $150 to $200 an hour. Do you have $200 an hour to give somebody for 8 hours? Oh, some people don't even make that in a month. So it has a lot of implications because there are a lot of people who are walking around who have been traumatized, who are taking this trauma out on other people. There are a lot of men who have been abused. There are a lot of women who have been abused. And so it's always good to recognize the signs of abuse in your loved ones. People have been in really controlling relationships. They're not allowed to go see friends and family. They're being isolated. That's the initial steps, that they isolate you from your friends and family. Honey, Johnny Depp's own daughter didn't come to the wedding. So it starts with the isolation. They start to isolate you from your loved ones. And then the criticism. Usually before somebody even lays a hand on somebody else, they're going to be dealing with verbal abuse. So the verbal abuse starts. Then it's the emotional abuse. And the emotional abuse is when you're berating someone and talking about them and saying things about them without any regard to their feelings. That is the emotional abuse. The verbal abuse, calling people's names and stuff like that. So, that's even before they hit you, because they're grooming you. They're grooming you to accept that behavior. And then, here comes a slap. Here comes the pop. Here comes the punch. And there were witnesses who said that they saw Johnny cowering. The manager over at Hicksville. He said Johnny was cowering. She was yelling at him and berating him in front of people. I mean, she didn't even care that there were other people around at that point. And he was cowering. And it's very interesting because we want to talk about trauma and how it affects you. Johnny Depp's mother was extremely verbally abusive to him. She was physically abusive to his father. Apparently he had a lazy eye. In the medical term, it's called strabismus. So that's where the eye goes this way, or one of the, they don't focus. And obviously he got it corrected, and it is correctable. His mother called him one eye, and he said that hurt him more than anything that anything that anybody ever did. And his mother was verbally and physically abusive to his father. And his father would take it, and instead of hitting her back, he would punch the walls. And so they were asking, they were like, Johnny, why did you put up with this? This woman was beating your ass during the honeymoon. Why would you put up with this? And he said, I married my mother. And y'all, he married his mother. How many of y'all have married your parents? Okay. How many people with abandonment issues get with somebody that's walking away and cheating on them and going places and leaving? A lot of this stuff starts in childhood and it's unresolved. And then Johnny's been all on these drugs, honey. He's on cocaine, pills, ecstasy, alcohol, and he is, with this addiction. And now he even admitted on the stand that he has been in addiction for so long that his own brain, and this is what happens when people have been addicted for years and years like that. The DeVar just talked about this, and it was heartbreaking. They've been addicted for so long that they can't even get up to just do functional things. Like you and I get up to go and tie our shoes, get up to take a bath and a shower. They've got to sniff coke or do, smoke crack just to get up to be functional, because the brain can't do it on its own anymore. When you start using all these drugs and things like this, your feel-good chemicals, the endorphins in your brain, they don't function a normal way that they're supposed to. So after they've been abusing for so long, they don't get that high like they used to get when they first were getting high. They just doing this just to even be functional. Like, I got to smoke crack just to get up and brush my teeth. I mean, my God. Oh, my God. And Johnny talked about that on the stand. So he has got a lot. I'm a huge fan of Lillian Glass, the body language expert, and she talks about toxic people and toxic personalities. And she's like, Johnny don't need to be in a relationship with anybody right now. He don't need to be in a relationship for years for right now until he works through these issues, because this man's mother abused him, abused his dad, but he took care of his mother. He moved his mother in the house across the street from him. He took care of her till she died. And I mean, I got to give it to Johnny Depp. I watched this trial, and I wasn't I watched 21 Jump Street like everybody else, but I wasn't a Johnny Depp super fan. Okay, not in the least. I've never seen Pirates of the Caribbean, but I had a lot of respect for him and a lot of empathy for him for what he went through with his mother, and just dealing with that and mental health, because that's hard. That's hard. I've had mentally ill people in my family, and we've had to deal with that. And it's been hard for our family when you have to go through that, because it's not just the person that it affects. It affects the whole family. Okay. And so this is where the trauma comes in. So I really hope that Johnny is getting the help that he needs so that he doesn't marry anybody like that anymore at all. It's crazy. And so, and Amber, I mean, y'all, do you think that she really learned anything from this trial? I mean, because she basically destroyed this man's career. He has now proven in a court of law that she defamed him, that she lied on him. And she did win the countersuit. And the countersuit was just that his lawyer came for her and basically, in my opinion, the lawyer told the truth. But the jury said, hey, the lawyer basically said that Amber and them staged that crime scene, which they freaking did. But that, the lawyer was acting on Johnny's behalf, and they felt like, the lawyer just went too far. But overall, Johnny won this case. Johnny was awarded $15 million, but it's actually going to be $10,350,000 because in Virginia, there's a cap on some of the damages. So even though the jury awarded him the $5 million, I believe that's for the punitive damages. They have to cap it at $350,000 because of the Virginia law. And why was this case held in Virginia? And I want to talk about the whole ancestral connection, honey, because I'm a little bit spiritual, y'all, with this whole Virginia thing, because Johnny lives in California, Amber lives in California. Why was it in Virginia? So the op-ed, the opinion that was posted by the Washington Post, it was posted online. And when you have an online case, they have to go by where the servers are. So the computer servers, because this is all on computers and online and stuff. And the servers were actually in Virginia. So they had to bring the case in Virginia. And I'm going to tell y'all what is so interesting about Virginia. So everybody thinks that Johnny Depp has Native American ancestry. Now, they said they did the DNA and he didn't, but I saw a credible genealogy person who shares a common ancestor with Johnny, and they said that he has Cherokee blood. I think he's great-grandmother or something like that. But what's even more interesting to me, y'all, is that Johnny Depp, y'all, has Black ancestry. Okay, y'all, Johnny Depp is a brother. But what is even more interesting is that his grandmother wasn't just any Black woman. Johnny Depp's eighth great-grandmother was a major United States historical figure in history. Her name was Elizabeth Key, and she was one of the first people in the history of the country to win her freedom from slavery in a court of law, y'all. She won her slave freedom in a court of law. And I want to talk about that real quick, because I just think I find it fascinating. I think Elizabeth Key was over there doing some ancestral juju for Johnny, because she won her case in Virginia. In Virginia, y'all. In Virginia. His grandmother lived in Virginia. And I want to show y'all a picture of Johnny Depp's grandmother. This is what they didn't have photos back then, but this is what a painting of her looked like. I'm going to show y'all this of Johnny Depp's grandmother, because I find this to be fascinating. Look right here. Yeah, y'all got these Black grandmothers hiding out there and hiding out. Let me show y'all Elizabeth. This is Johnny Depp's grandmother, y'all. I'm gonna blow this up. Show y'all Johnny Depp grandmother, eighth great grandmother. Her name is Elizabeth Key. And oh no, she wasn't one of the first. She was the first. Let me correct myself, honey. Okay, she was the first African woman to win her freedom in court. And how did she win her freedom in court? She won her freedom in court because her father was an Englishman, okay, and her mother was an African, and they had her, so she was biracial. but she was enslaved. And so in those, they were under British common law, because remember, the original 13 colonies, these were British subjects. So in British common law, the status of the child is determined by the father, not the mother. And so what happened was, and the reason they determined it by the father is because, we're in a patriarchal society, and they want to make sure that these men will provide for their children, even if they were, so-called illegitimate. And so she was enslaved, and then her father was, made provision financially to provide for her after his death, and then he died. And the people that he entrusted with taking care of her after he died, they put her back into slavery. And so she got with a white man, and they had a baby together, but they couldn't get married. They couldn't do anything. And actually, her baby daddy helped her get some freedom. Okay, he helped her in court. So hey, shout out, you get somebody that can help you out. So, but what happened was, she went to court and said, hey, the British common law says that my status is supposed to be determined by my father. And my father was a free white man. He even had put in his will that I'm supposed to be taken care of. And he acknowledged my, being my father. And so I'm not supposed to be enslaved. And she won her case, y'all. She won her case. Hello? What year was this? I'm gonna tell y'all what year it was, because this is what is so fascinating about it, is what year was it. This was in 1656, y'all. Remember, the first slave ship got to America in 1619. So this is one of the earliest freedom suits. And also she won on the fact that she was baptized as a Christian. So that was the other thing. So 1656. And she later went on to have a child, had another child, and another child. And this was on Johnny Depp's father's side, that he is descended from Elizabeth Key. And her case was so important because she won on the basis of her father being an Englishman, that they went and changed the law, honey. This is what they do sometimes. They went and changed the law to determine the status of the children by their mother, because there were so many of these slave masters who were raping these Black women on these plantations and having babies, with them. And then they would put these children back into slavery. And some of them, there were cases where the slave master would deliberately breed with and have children with the slave, with one of the enslaved women, so that they could breed more slaves. And this is an indirect result of, or actually direct result of, Elizabeth Key, because they went and changed the law so that the child is determined by the status of the mother. And they did it in Virginia, then they went and did it in all these other states. And that's how the law became that that if somebody was born into slavery and their mother was a slave, they are a slave. Okay, they were enslaved. And that had implications for the 400 years that we were in slavery. Really, it really, really did. So Johnny Depp's eighth great grandmother, Elizabeth Key Grinstead, is a key historic figure in the history of slavery in the United States. And she won her case in the state of Virginia. And Johnny Depp, some 500 some odd years later, won his case, 400 something years later, won his case in the state of Virginia. So you can't tell me, honey, Elizabeth wasn't looking down a little bit to help out. You can't tell me that. But shout out to Johnny Depp. We can't always believe all women, okay? We really just want to look at the truth. I think this has serious implications for mental health. There are mental health resources out there. Please, everybody, go and get mental health resources, because it's important for you, your family. We all want to live better lives. It's important to live good lives. So if anything from this trial, if you're experiencing domestic violence, please call the hotline. And if you're perpetrating domestic violence, there's help for you too. They have programs for people who are perpetrating domestic violence, because most of the time they grew up seeing domestic violence. So they have a higher likelihood of perpetuating it. And a lot of times people who perpetuate it don't want to get any help because of the shame, but there are programs for that too. Don't wait till it gets to a court order before you go and get some help. So I have really had a wonderful time with this stream. I know we probably struggle streamed a little bit, y'all. I mean, I see a couple of viewers there, so I appreciate y'all for sticking with me. I want to thank y'all. I'm getting my technology together. I'm working on some things. I'm going to be doing more live streams, but I love looking at these celebrity cases from a medical perspective, because it has implications for us all. It's not just about two international personalities and celebrities going through what they're going through. This has implications for us all, because you know somebody with a personality disorder, you know somebody that's done drugs and is on drugs, addicted to drugs, cracked out, strung out, out there hoeing for for some crack. Everybody knows somebody. This isn't isolated. It's not a vacuum. And so it's an important implication. And I really hope Amber gets some help. I really do. I hope she gets some help. Honey, I ain't never seen so much lying in a court case in my life. Lord, this girl was lying. Honey, she lied. She was lying and she wasn't doing nothing. I think her baseline is the lie. Lord Jesus. Honey, she was lying. And Johnny, Johnny came out. Johnny gonna be the next, honey. He gonna be an action star from now on out. He said he's not gonna do business with Disney anymore. He said he's gonna because they kicked him when he was down, honey. But honey, Johnny gonna bounce back, baby. And Aquaman 2, I'm worried about Aquaman, because she put that op-ed out right when Aquaman 1 came out. They said they had 4 million people to sign that petition to get her ass up out of Aquaman. I didn't even hardly remember an Aquaman, because honey, I was looking at Jason Momoa. Shout out Tim Zamora, thank you. I appreciate you for the shout out. So Aquaman 2, they said they cut her down to 10 minutes. So maybe they just cut her out. Hopefully they cut her out of it, because we don't want to see no more Amber. And I mean, I know she's getting a lot of hate online and everything, but as Courtney Love said, she said, "Hey, I've been the most hated woman in America." And Courtney Love is the ex-wife of the late great Kane, the lead singer of Nirvana. And she said, "I've been the most hated woman in America before." So I feel for her for that. But she also said, "But when you take a movement and twist it to your own personal purposes, then these are the consequences." And it's unfortunate, because Me Too, and it really turned out to be a finesse. Honey, those organizations for Me Too, a lot of them took that money and ran. And where are the women who really are getting abused and getting mistreated? Where does that leave them? So, one thing that I do like about the Me Too, that it did help open up the conversation and the dialogue about, abuse and everything. And then, they talk about believe all women. We can't believe all women, honey. We got to believe the truth, honey. We got to be truth seekers. So I learned something from this trial. Shout out to Dr. Curry, baby, for that breakdown of that DSM-5, that personality disorder stuff, honey. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I like studying all this kind of stuff. That's why I went to medical school, child, so I could, learn all these things. And I hope to, be able to break that down for you guys and give you guys some good understanding of it. So I am signing off. We'll do some fun, honey. We'll do some fun, because I'm gonna miss this trial, honey, because this trial has been sensational. I won't miss it. I was watching this trial every damn day. But I appreciate you guys. Take care of yourself. Love the people around you, but love yourself. Put yourself first, okay? If you can't take care of you, you can't take care of nobody else, okay? Later. Bye, y'all.